Hey guys, we are back. Drew, do you have anything to say? All right, guys, I know, mind blowing. And the thing that I want to remind you of is to go back to each of these episodes and see where are the holes in your process. Mm-hmm. And when we talk about systems, I just want to define this before we go into this next amazing freaking talk. So many people get overwhelmed in the CRM, overwhelmed on what platform to deliver, overwhelmed. And we were talking about it right before we were, recording. I've got to edit my videos. I've got to spend an hour just planning out content. Is that content actually converting? If it's not converting, you got to go back to the basics, which brings us to today's episode. Let's go back to the basics on Facebook groups. Your sold promises and all these different stories on, I got my Facebook group to do this, but I hear so many of you are not converting. So here is Drew talking about how he set up his Facebook group and how he structures it so he doesn't feel drowned in the process. Drew, hit it.
Absolutely. Let's roll. This is a juicy topic. Grab your pen and paper, everybody, because this is really, really good. This is dynamite right here. So really my thing, if you caught the first video, it's like I want to reach more people, and online single-handedly is going to be where you're going to be able to reach more people. I said to myself a couple years back, I was like, Drew, if you don't get online in 5 and 10 years, you're done. You're lost. So like it's very, very urgent that you do that. Now, once you do make the decision you want to get online, you have to figure out like what are you after? What do you want to do? For me, I want to help people. For me, I want to help people lose weight. I want to help make weight loss very simple, very practical, and do that. And so that's when I came across this whole Facebook group thing. And you watching this, you're probably very familiar. Hell, you're probably in 10 or 15 Facebook groups these days, right? So it's extremely powerful because nobody wants to be sold anything, but everybody wants to be helped. Remember that. Nobody wants to be sold anything. Everybody wants to be helped. And so I'm a huge attraction marketing person. I think Rachel and I talked about this before. Like, it's not my job to be the salesman. It's my job to attract the right people to Drew that are willing to say, hey, I have some issues. I have some problems, but look, I think you could be my guy. I think you can help.
To educate. And guys, I just want to preface this.
Yes.
Because a lot of people start Facebook groups and think that that's going to be the game changer. If you don't know, and that's why you're going to go back to video 1, if you don't know who you serve, why you serve them, and the areas that you drill down on daily. And I hear a lot of people say, but I'm only supposed to have one niche. Step back even from niche for a second and say, what are the topics in this journey? What are the topics I need to talk about? What problems? Because if you're at the infancy of your business, you don't even know what people want. And that's why Drew really explained how did he, in his signature calls, get people right on the phone to understand. And that's why you have a powerful Facebook group. So explain to people how you define the name for your Facebook group in the process.
So as far as like the name as it is currently right now.
Or what was it actually before?
It's a good one. So it's called Keto Hacked, right? So it's like the whole idea of like keto. And I wanted to provide like the hacks, right? The tips, the tricks, and really just simplify everything. These days, like we live in a very informationally overwhelmed era, and that's having a lot of people kind of in the dead zone. It's information constipation, paralysis by analysis. They're doing way too much homework, and then they don't actually end up doing anything, right?
And remember when you and I if you guys have not listened to episode 1, go back to episode 1, because we talked about when Drew and I did a bunch of lives together. And we were talking about what are the problems with keto. Mm-hmm. And so we were writing those down. If you don't know the problems that people have, it's almost impossible, because then you're just throwing out content. You're throwing out content that doesn't make sense. Yeah. So Keto Hacked was about helping people to really demystify how to do keto.
Simplify keto, how to start, what the heck's ketosis, how do you measure your blood ketone levels, what's keto friendly, what's not, what the heck is a net carb.
And how are you getting people to the group?
So this is where it gets super spicy, and this is where everything totally changed. Magic happens. So going off of the premise that leading with value, right? I designed a very, very simple, very straightforward kind of a keto hacked checklist. And what I did is I had a very simple Facebook ad. And I said, hey, are you interested in learning about the ketogenic diet and what it could potentially do for you in your life? Right. And then I had this like little picture of like a pie chart with the different percentages of the fats and the proteins and stuff. And that ad actually, it converted unbelievably well. I was getting,
I think you said 81 cents.
40 to 50 cents a lead. How stupid is that?
But see, like that's the beauty, because guys, let's just talk about Facebook ads for a sec, because this is really important, is that if you can go at these low cost ads, because Facebook leading to a blog, a post like that leading to a blog, leading to a group, those are the lowest cost Facebook ad conversions. And if you nail, and this is where it's really important to make sure that you pick the great picture, because a Facebook ad isn't just the copy. You really want to make sure that you've picked a great picture that has people stop. That picture, if you, I believe that picture is like sold on, you know, iStock or Getty or Big Stock or any of these. And then you had your copy. How did you figure out, before we also get into the even spicy, how did you figure out how to set up your target audiences?
So really what I did is I actually I used my personal profile as the kind of like data collection thing. And I spent a lot of times in other groups and just figuring out what are the problems, what are the pain points. So when it was time to take on my thing and be like, hey, I can do this, I can teach this, I can help people. I really just collected feedback from what everybody else was having problems with. And I was like, okay, here's kind of the general age range. Here are some of the interests. Here are some of the questions that we're getting. And I was able to just do a really, really simple ad and able to target those people.
And you did it off your personal account?
The homework and research. Yeah. And then I ran the ads from the business page, but yeah. So it was just like, it was really wild.
Do you run it through Business Manager, or do you keep it on your page?
Business Manager.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think at the time the page was called like Keto Set Go or something like that. So it was a keto page too. So the other thing is it had to be transparent. I can't be like the Paleo King, be my name, and then all of a sudden it's talking about a keto ad. People are like, dude, what the heck? So you got to make sure it's transparent as well too. But yeah, doing that, something really, low barrier, free for them. They just had to click a button. But where it got really cool was everybody that would come from the Facebook ad, I would not send them directly to the group. Here's why. I wanted to add even more value before they got into the group, and I wanted to capture their email and their Facebook for ManyChat. So I sent them to a very simple landing page. Hey, here's the group. Here are the added bonuses. Here's what you get. And then I was just, hey, click the button to join. I sent them to another page where they just opted in. And then from that opt-in, it sent them to ManyChat. ManyChat then sent them to the group where they had to answer the 3 questions, and then I would grant them permission into the group. So already captured their email address, already captured their
and you even have a page that you could do, you could retarget.
Absolutely. So
you're killing like 3 birds with 1 stone.
Yes, because that's the biggest thing with Facebook groups is like you can have one of the questions say, hey, what's your email address to send you your free gift? But the questions aren't always required, or they're just not going to fill it out, and they can still request to join the group. So that's why I was like, no, forget that.
And I love that you also did this, because, a lot of people will do that manually. Again, that's just a time sucker. So you're bringing them to that page, and then tell us the next process.
So once they get into the group, I tag them in the welcome post, and I give them very, very specific directions. It's a video of me. Again, video is hot. People love video. So automatically in the pin post, in the announcements, they see me very quickly. Quick intro. Hey, I'm Coach Drew. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to help you. I'm your guy. Let's go have some fun. We're going to learn about X, Y, and Z. Now I need you to do 2 or 3 quick things. Number 1, tell us about yourself. Number 2, go download your checklist in the file section. Number 3, post about any successes or wins that you've had every single week. Little things like that, just to get engagement and interaction. And the other thing is too, I have a lot of little other kind of hidden gems that are tucked in the file section, and like some stumbling points where it's like, if someone's not being nosy, but if they're in there, they're like, oh, what's that? You get to clicking, And that's when some of the network marketing products come about and stuff like that too. And just other little cheat sheets and checklists. And so it's really cool.
And with your Facebook group, because I see a lot of people, and we were talking about this in the other video, and which is why we started doing this one as well, is engagement. A lot of people I see struggling with engagement. And so let's even go to what was the group originally named to what is the group now.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So your group now is
30 Days to Better with Coach Drew.
And do you find now same process, you never reinvent the wheel. So we didn't spend more time and money. 2, you also defined 30 days. Did you find that adding this where they knew that they were coming in and 30 days they would get a step-by-step, did you find that you had even better conversions? Even
better. People are fired up. They love timelines. We go crazy for timelines. I don't know if it's a psychological thing. I don't know if it's just like, throw our hands up. We need help kind of thing.
100%. It is a psychological thing. 2, it's just like you and I think we were even off camera talking about this. We all want structure. We're all struggling with something. You and I had autoimmune stuff.
Yep.
Everyone's coming. Everyone's busy. Everyone's overwhelmed. Everyone needs structure. Just like kids need structure, adults need structure. I know I structure my days. If I know also that I'm going to join something and there is a start and an end, and I'm coming to a group and I'm not just getting Motivation Monday.
That's true.
No,
you're right.
Straight up,
you're right.
If I know that I'm coming in there and that's like smackdown, like there are 30 days and there is a process and I can download something and I can follow it. You've got me. And so that then even more solidifies what is a whole Facebook group for, leading them into what we said. And I'm actually going to have one of my virtual assistants make the Drew funnel.
Make it all pretty, right?
But this is what I always say. I always start this way. The moment we start talking, you have to write it down. So then we're bringing them into what?
So people love exactly. We bring the 5-day, the smoothie detox. If they're ready to rock and roll.
So you have a file in there where you have all your free tools. Is that also in the announcement?
That's yes. So that's in the group. That's actually step 2 for the announcements. Hey, go download your guide. It's called 30 Days to Better with Coach Drew. And then I have the link for the guide and I'm like, oh, hey, by the way, check this out too in the meantime. And so that just kind of leading to them, but then that still allows me, I know it's a timeline. I have messages that drip on them over the 30 days. I have them do like what are called micro phases. So for, it's 10 micro phases for 30 days. Every 3 days, I have them doing a new accountability task. And the idea is to stack those so that at the end of the 30 days, they're like crushing it.
And you're using ManyChat for all of this communicate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the other cool thing is too, it allows me to see who engages, who interacts. And then, because people are commenting back to this as well too. And so anytime they're like, hey, I need some additional support, I'm like, yeah, no worries. Let's hop on the phone, schedule a call. And so I've actually had some people at like day 15 sign up for the one-on-one program is because they were ready. They're like, dude, this is legit. You've already helped me so much with this.
Right. I mean, I love what you said, even in our other video guys about network marketing, is if your product is giving them results, they're going to want to go more. So if your Facebook group is giving somebody results, I mean, what I love about this is even though, yes, you're using tools like ManyChat or, bots, you're taking new school strategies and really staying though old school in your approach of connection. And I know that's why people are like, wow, he was here at step 1. Now he's here at step 2. I'm in the group. I'm already seeing results. And so in the group, it just becomes your big ongoing machine in a way to lead people down these different paths that you have laid out.
It's basically like, I like to think of it as like an airport kind of runway thing. It's like they're taking off on the plane. I'm not sure where they're headed, but the good news is like, we're going to take flight and then we're going to get somewhere. You know what I mean? So like, if I can get them down the runway, in this case is the 30 days, or at least a good section through that, it's true and tested, what we're doing and establishing these healthy habits and the accountability tasks that I'm asking them to do. And then I know once I get them to that point, they're begging me. They're like, Coach Drew, what's next? What's next? What's next? And I'm like, schedule a call. Let's talk about it. Schedule a call. Yeah.
And I love how simple that is, because I know even in my own Facebook group, and this is full transparency always, guys, on this podcast, sometimes it's a struggle to constantly pump out content. And I'm even sitting there going, why am I not doing this myself? Like creating 30 days, like I can say it, I know it in my head. Right. But I think that this strategy for so many people, they're going to hear this and say, this is so smart, because you're getting them into that trust factor. You're just like you said, the ecosystem, your funnel.
Get them in the
You're
ecosystem.
getting them. And also I love, and I just want to remind people of this. I love this comment that you said, they're getting on a plane and you don't always know where they're going. And that is the truth. And that's why this one signature program system doesn't always work, because we've walked through the steps of the funnel, walked through, the low cost, mid, some at 15-day, or it's like, oh my God. So
dude, I'm ready to roll.
Like, here's my credit card. Dude, what do you take?
They're like, yeah, exactly.
Should I PayPal, Square? How can I get, like,
how soon can I start? Like, no, it's great. It's a great feeling too, because knowing, just providing value, doing things the right way. Like my heart's in a good place. And again, like, more importantly, I know single-handedly through and through, the best way an individual is going to get results is if they have one-on-one with Coach Drew.
Yeah.
Or none. And then
so,
it's like,
right. Why not time block a day? And this, guys, I know this is a little side of Facebook group, but this is about business. You've got to time block what I call a day for talking to people, being able to get on the phone.
Absolutely.
People, I can't tell you how many virtual assistants were like, you shouldn't be getting on the phone with people. And it's interesting. I just got pitched, and I get pitched all the time, but I got pitched by a digital marketing agency. And they were like, well, we're going to take over everything. So the sales guy went through everything, gave me the whole pitch. And he was like, okay, so it's going to be, $3,000 a month. And I said, everything that you told me actually equates. I would be saving a lot of money in these other areas. But your process doesn't work for me, because I didn't once accept to get a cold call by the owner of the company. But not once in this process was there an email, a video from that person, a call, and you're trying to close me and you're the salesperson.
Interesting.
But that happens all the time. Think of just a funnel. We think that a funnel can just be, oh, go here, then go here. But what you're really talking about is connection. So the last question I have, because I know everyone's like, well, what does he put in his group?
Right.
With the 30 days, they're following that plan.
Yes.
Do you set your content up for a week, or did you decide like Monday you're coming in? Or do you kind of just go with intuition on what you want to post that day?
I'm a big like internal person, and like, feeling, intuitively and things like that. And so I don't wing it. I've got my notebook here of like topics for the week that I have. But I just like to speak from the heart, and like whatever comes up and like today, after we're done with this, I'm going to get on my phone. I'm going to look at all of the comments. I'm going to see what people's goals are. And guess what? What do you think I'm going to do? From those goals, I'm going to create more content. And so it's just like, I'm always collecting feedback and just listening to people, because they're telling me exactly what they want. I just listen, and then I freaking create it. And that's it.
Ryan Dice, we're talking about growth on again, but I'll never forget when Ryan Dice was like, the digital marketer these days, if you don't listen, if you don't see, if you're not feeling people, you don't have empathy, you're just a salesperson. Actually, it's funny because that growth kind of goes, oh, Grant, like you. Like he was like, no offense, Grant.
but yes, like
and Grant was like, no, I'm a salesperson.
Yeah.
But what I think is really important for people to understand is we can be really structured and right brain in mapping out it's called our business funnel. This is exactly Ryan Dice. But we also have to make sure at the same time that we're pivoting. because sometimes our people want something different.
Exactly.
Sometimes they're feeling stuff differently. And I just went into the group the other day and was like, guys, I feel this theme. I see this theme going on where everyone's, you know, build this, funnel this. Do you guys want to talk about the basics? And they're like, oh my God. And I think that's a really valuable thing that coaches can get from what you've said in this is that listen and you will have all the content you need.
That's so true.
Take the problem and then turn that into content.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just so great too. Is like, number one, I get a lot of feedback from them too. But like the other thing that I did want to say real quick is like you and me, you know, we've been doing this for a long time, and we're things that are simple to us are not simple to a lot of people. And so another kind of like big awakening was like, holy crap, Drew, like people don't know what a morning routine is. Yeah. They don't know how to wind down their day. Like what's goal setting.
I think that's the other thing that's such a great point is, you know, sometimes, and this is what I talk about in the hero journey, and this is really relative, guys, not just to Facebook groups, but for your entire content planning. Don't make assumptions of the people who come into your funnel, your ecosystem, as Drew said, because there might be a person, she doesn't even know she has metabolic issues. She doesn't even, let's just take for you example, because we'll stay in the keto weight loss intuitive eating. She doesn't even know the word insulin resistant. She just knows that she's tried everything. She's really depressed. She doesn't know what to do. She's heard all these things between magazines, and she heard blah, blah, blah from the Real Housewives did keto.
Yeah, the celebrities, right?
And then she's heard carb cycling, and she's heard all these things, but she's just overwhelmed, like you said. So what does she need to hear? Then then you have another person that's like, oh my God, dude, I am so into biohacking. Hit me on everything. Dude, tell me what collagen do you use? Dude,
exactly.
You have the sunglasses when you're in front of your computer. Tell me exactly, you know, and then you've got that person. Then you've got this other person who is like, you know, I've got a lot of sugar cravings and I tried to do keto and I know it's really great. And my best friend did keto, but I'm such like, I just always fail myself. And the person who needs, you know, to be like, it's okay. Like, we're going to find something, like you said, that's doable for your lifestyle, that takes you out of the diet mentality. And then they walk right into eating with intention.
Which it just makes so much sense. It really does. And that's one of the biggest battles that made me also kind of transition. Number one is it's what I do on a daily basis, the whole like flexible dieting and like understanding lifestyle living versus following a diet. But the second thing is too, it's like people were so keto. And I was like, guys, like we got to take a step back. It's not just a diet.
It's not SCD. It's not keto. It's not GAPS. It's not AIP. It's living. And I think, you know, because I think that I was so excited, guys, you know me. I think I even was like, oh, what? Interrupted you because I call you my spirit brother. It's good.
It's good.
The point that you were making, and I think that this is so imperative, is we go right for probiotics. We go right for or we'll just be like, oh, but it's standard. I mean, of course everyone knows magnesium. No,
they don't.
It's you got to make sure that you are testing to see where people, the morning ritual, you and I were like, oh, so what do you do? And I was like, well, yeah, this is what's in my coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the part that we have to share.
It is.
And I love what you were saying. It's really getting also, and ClickFunnels, let's just talk about Russell and we'll close this out.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I love is that what goes wrong when you're talking about funnels, and this is what Russell said actually at 10X, is he was like, guys, funnel hacking is not just about putting together the same exact funnel that somebody else. It's going through their funnel and taking the best parts of it. But then the part that most people miss and have misunderstood is that you have to then learn how your audience needs to be spoken to. How your audience, are they at stage 1, 2, 3? Do you have a combo of men?
So true. Yeah.
How do you feed them into these different, what we call funnels? Really, they're tracks. These different tracks based on exactly the problem and what they need. the solution, and then baby stepping them to really like just that end result so that they stay in the customer life cycle always.
Exactly. I love that. No, you said it extremely well. I always think of it. I mean, it's in his book too, but like somebody's here, they want to get here, bridging them over with those small sequential steps that just make sense and that's actually going to help them, and they're going to be coming back for more every single time. So,
or even, and I think about this because it is so basic, but I remember doing a YouTube video on poop. So I did like a series.
Yeah,
no joke.
yeah.
I swear to God, it's like 17,000 views. It's
No
something
way.
crazy. I have to look at something crazy. I even got phone calls from radio shows that were like, we saw your whole like video series on poop.
You're kidding.
But I sat there because every person would come to me with all these higher level issues. And I would say, do you poop? I mean, you're like, and they would say, once a week. I mean, and these were like athletes. So like, not just like your autoimmune sick. I mean, like everyone. And I started realizing, wow, it is the basics. If you're not pooping, you're not going to detox. You're not going to lose weight. You're going to have blood sugar imbalances, viruses, pathogens. And I started realizing it's at the basic core of exactly what you said, goal setting, your morning, go in the bathroom, like the habits that you keep that keep you able to stay on point. And when you do fall off the wagon, because maybe a birthday party, a holiday, you're going on a cruise, going on a trip, you have the tools that Coach Drew or that, that the person you want to follow and you want to stay with is like, no problem. You went there. Let me show you how to get rid of that.
No worries.
Let me have you take your ketones with you so we don't have these problems.
And you're more likely to stay on track. I mean, because that's the biggest thing too. Like Rachel, when I was like figuring out like how I want to help people and how I'm going to be able to do that most effectively, it's the whole shebang. It's the whole thing as far as goal setting, affirmations, meditations, all that stuff, nutrition, moving your body, exercising, like all that little stuff that you and I do habitually. I mean, it's so second nature to us, but so many people, they're missing that.
I think that's the point. I think that we can even close on is I think that, there are some of us that intuitively do this.
Yeah.
I call it like the 1%. And I'm not saying just, it's like because I've talked to coaches, they're like, but I always did this. I was an athlete. You were an athlete. I grew up competitively swimming. This was just around me. So trainers, coaches, eating, but it doesn't mean that I drilled it down to where I am now.
Right.
And so I think for some people, it's not as easy. It's how our brains are wired. Just like some people will be like, oh my God, I can totally watch a video and implement that. Or Absolutely. I can totally do this. While others, it's not their constitution. And I think that's why we always have to remind to speak, as you said so eloquently, speak to these different stages.
100%. Yep.
So that you never miss out on a conversion, miss out on making money, miss out on helping somebody because you've just made some assumption that they know everything.
Exactly. No, love it. Love it.
All right,
Going back to the basics.
Hit us again, just because we want everyone to know. Where can they find you? If a coach is even struggling or somebody is like seen this on iTunes and they're like, oh my God, this guy Drew, I need to hire him.
Absolutely. Yeah. Reach out. So it's just, I go by Coach Drew, but it's Drew Schrader, DREWSCHREDER. I'll have some sort of picture with me and like a whiteboard or probably my hat on backwards. So look out for that. And then on Instagram, Drew's Fit Life. And then also my Facebook fan page is Drew's Fit Life. And then you're more than welcome to join the group. 30 Days to Better with Coach Drew. Would love to have you. Let me, if you do happen to join, when you get in the group, just let me know where you came in from, stuff like that, that we can show Rachel some love too and do all that cool stuff. So,
all right, guys, listen, this had so many tips for a Facebook group, how to have real engagement, how to bring people there, even how to engage in, using a bot, but also not do it in that body way.
Overwhelming way. Right.
Drip out content. There was so much here. This also applies to how you show up. This is everything to do with your entire social media strategy, your content planning strategy. If you're not doing this and you keep reaching for all this other stuff, you haven't even gotten this now down, please go back to stage one for yourself in your business and use and work on these fundamentals before you waste a lot of money, waste a lot of frustration, and then have somebody tell you, oh my God, no, spend money on an evergreen webinar when you haven't even figured out the basics.
Yeah, don't do that.
How many times have I got a notch? I got a notch on my bedpost for
I was going to say guilty as charged. Guilty as charged.
That has
honestly.
happened to you, because it's happened to many of us. It's okay. Have a few tears over it, but now get back to the basics, because that will never fail you, nor will this system. All right, guys, we're going to peace out. Stay tuned for the next mind-blowing podcast. And guys, if you're not feeling yourself, or you need some accountability, or even if you're a coach and you just feel like, I need to be coached in this area so I can actually build a business, definitely want to be coached on your health, because you cannot coach somebody unless you're doing that kind of stuff on your daily basis. All right. Peace out, homies. We'll see you on the flip side.
Peace.